Yo, little baby, you and your team paid me $30,000 to keep quiet about your motherfucking album. And I sat there and I realized, I said, well, if you pay me $30,000, it ain't no way you sent a to come swing on me. Why would you do that? Don't make no sense. Why would you pay me afterwards?
I'm really struggling to find words here, but I think Kendrick said it best.
Yeah, somebody's lying. I can see the vibes on Ak. Even he looking compromised. Let's peel the layers back.
Ak is compromise. Now, for those who need context, this links back to a fallout that happened between DJ Akademiks, DJ Diddy Demix, and Lil Baby's assistant, who apparently slapped the shit out of and Will Smith Akademiks. And ever since that confrontation, Ak has been on a scorched earth campaign, going on about aura, going on about running fades, going on about absolutely everything he can, just trying to tear down Lil Baby and his team. But amidst all of this anger, amidst all of this performative internet outrage, he's also snitching on himself.
But y'all ain't do that. Y'all backed off of that. Y'all said it wasn't y'all. Then y'all paid me money just to, yo, Ak, could you give the album a shot? I chilled out. I'm like, all right, bet I'm going to let people say whatever it is. I say, you know what? That can't be Baby. Like, I found a couple songs I like. I start supporting it. I start going up with it. And then now I'm finding out in the 10th inning, yo, Baby, you is this.
Because let's step back and think about these words and appreciate what he's doing here. He's basically admitting to accepting payment from Lil Baby's team in order to influence a narrative around Lil Baby. So an artist pays you $30,000. You accept payment from that artist, and you know that that's going to come with stipulations. You know that you have a massive platform that people listen to, that people want to hear your opinion on, and now you've just accepted this bribery in essence so that you can speak a certain way about this artist and use that platform to help influence how people view said artists who gave you a large sum of money, which has to be the biggest red flags in the world, because now is the moment when we have to step back and remind ourselves of the holy crusade that Akademiks has been on against Kendrick, what Akademiks has said in the past in regards to Payola, in regards to bots, all of the accusations, all of the narratives that he has been throwing out there and mudslinging that he's been doing. I mean, the hypocrisy speaks for itself. And let's just remind ourselves about some of the things that Ak has said when he's been accused of accepting payments.
Day Free had a moment he asked me, he said, Ak, he said, what are you getting from this? He says, is he paying you? And that was the most insulting thing and I had conversations with these men for a while. But the very idea that I was like a purchasable commodity was so disgusting. I reminded him, I said, you know, I've been doing this for over 10 years. I've been doing this for over 15 years. How did you think I became me? I said, you knew about me before this shit. How did you think I became? Did you think I was a cheap hoe that just could be bought?
Yo, little baby, you and your team paid me $30,000 to keep quiet about your motherfucking album.
And don't forget the recent A$AP Rocky interview either.
You used to be posting shit you thought was fire on some Tumblr shit. Now you getting so political that we know that nigga gave you 5 bands to post.
Hold on.
Yo,
hold on.
I had to call you one time. Like, you don't be posting shit that you feel like, yo, this is fire. Don't lie.
Wait. He's never ever paid me. But yo, little baby, you and your team paid me $30,000 to keep quiet about your motherfucking album.
And for me, I think when you have someone who is just so used to lying, so used to just weaving this web of manipulating narratives, eventually that web catches up with them. Eventually, the lies start to build and build until they can't keep track of what they're saying and they start to trip over themselves. And given the amount that he spends online, the amount that he streams, and also the amount that he likes to drink, well, I feel like this was an inevitability, especially when you're off balance, when you're emotionally triggered, because you're forgetting about that mask that you wear. And we tend to see in these moments when influencers, when these names are, being pushed out of their comfort zone, being pushed into situations, that's when the mask really slips. And in this case, I think we see the true identity behind Akademiks. And for me, I think the biggest irony of this is that in this outrage, in this just absolute focus on tearing down Lil Baby, on destroying his up, he doesn't realize that he's shooting himself in the foot.
But y'all ain't do that. Y'all backed off of that. Y'all said it wasn't y'all. Then y'all paid me money just to, yo, Ak, could you give the album a shot?
And again, because I love my clips today, let's remind ourselves of some of the narratives that Akademiks has spun in the past 2 years.
I've heard Kendrick isn't that either until recently. I heard, this is a story told to me, could be wrong. They said Kendrick wasn't into botting until him and his team thought the only way Drake could be that big, Drake had to be botting, so they start botting. It's like saying, ain't no way this nigga that smart. He got to be cheating, so you start cheating too. You know what I'm saying? Or you're in baseball and be like, ain't no way this motherfucker is doing all this without some steroids. Let me go get the steroids too. Okay? So from what I want to be honest with y'all. For what I've heard about Kendrick, he's an off-the-muscle artist too, but they started spicing up songs during the battle and they've continued after.
And there's been a lot of influencers, a lot of people online who have used clips from Akademiks, who have used what he said in regards to the Kendrick botting narrative, the Kendrick botting situation, to use that as ammunition, to use that as evidence to go after Kendrick Lamar. And here you have this man literally admitting to being compromised. Because if he's willing to accept money from Lil Baby, then who else is he willing to accept money from? Who else is he willing to push narratives for? And look, I'm proudly independent. I sit here and I say that with my chest out, knowing the angst, knowing the stress, knowing the battles, knowing the complications and all the bullshit that I have dealt with from music labels over the years, just trying to continue my platform. And it just pisses me off that someone like this, who talks weird to 15-year-old kids.
No, yo. Suppose he's like, yo, bro, listen, yo, you always wanted me to be next to you. Now I could be inside of you. Pause.
Continues to get celebrated, continues to get marquee interviews, continues to get featured on hip-hop media sites, continues to be a talking point and within narratives around hip-hop releases, around the big names in music. And the irony of all this is that I've been attacked. When I've stood up for reactors, when I pointed out the flaws in Drake's whitelisting accusations that were used in the lawsuit against UMG, I had people coming after me. I had people going, Knox is compromised. Knox is getting payments from UMG. And even Akademiks TV, because I do not forget, I am a petty motherfucker. Akademiks TV shared a screenshot of a very public conversation that I had with No Life Shack in regards to the labels, in regards to monetization, and tried to set it up and paint it in a way so that just by having a mere conversation with Shack, somehow by that affiliation, that meant that I was getting payments, that I was in contact with the label. But look where we are now. Isn't it funny how the ones who tend to point the finger, who tend to constantly accuse others, typically are the ones who need to point it at themselves?
Yo, little baby, you and your team paid me $30,000 to keep quiet about your motherfucking album.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Fuck DJ Diddy Demix. Fuck your lack of journalistic integrity. Fuck what you do and the platform that you represent and the character that you truly are deep down. Thanks and have a great day, everyone.
Yo, if Max got a sister and she threw you the box, would you smash her?
He already has a sister.
All right, if she threw you the box, would you smash?
No, because I'm 15.
What I mean?
What does that mean?
She's above 18.
What I mean?
Okay, what does that mean?
It will be grooming.
It'll be what?
Grooming.
That has nothing to do with you.